Oh my god, guys, I've been hiding out
Because we are at the peak.
of what I call the spooky times. Hellraisers, Freddy's. Generally speaking, scary ghosts are scary.
But guys, today I want to move past all that bull
And talk about one of our favorite whack jobs.
one of our favorite nuts.
He's got a large following. He gets a bazillion views on all his videos and all this crap. That's right. Where is he? This guy.
Hi.
I could literally say anti-Semitic shit.
What in the
Oh
world
boy.
is the matter with you?
Here we go.
Why must you do the bad things that you do?
Okay.
We are just working to clean up your mess. We are just striving to do what is best. That's in the Bible.
God. Oh boy.
Toilet.
I could say anti-Semitic things.
Yeah, I try to check in on Jordy Peterson for this channel every once in a while, and most of the time, 90% of the time, he's saying the exact same crap over and over again, just repeating right-wing talking points. But then every once in a while, I think he's like, I need to actually express myself.
Hello, everyone.
Guy?
I'd like to tell you very briefly about my new book.
Hi.
It's called An ABC of Childhood Tragedy.
Okay.
The book itself and the project is an attempt to investigate the nexus, let's say, of beauty and tragedy and humor, a strange triad. And maybe I'll read you a couple of the
That's a bit broad, okay? Oh.
alphabet poems so you get some sense of what you're in for if you dare to buy the book.
Okay.
It's pretty rough, so be warned. A. Adela. An abusive sprat was fond of teasing little brats. They finally jumped her one fine day.
Okay.
And now Adela's locked away. Whew. D. This is a very rough one. Dick was a damaged little boy whose prancing father made him coy. When he ended up in jail, all competed for his tail. F.
Okay. Okay. All right, Jordy?
Hi. Hi.
Well, on this goddamn channel, we respect all artistic endeavor, but I would say, in this case, I really wanted to give Jordan Peterson the benefit of the doubt on this one. Like, okay, he created a poetry book. Really gave him a chance, but totally honest review. It's like if Neil Gaiman got hit in the head, okay? It's like if Neil Gaiman were walking through wherever he lives, Ireland or whatever goddamn castle Neil Gaiman lives, and he's like, it's time to put out the torch, to go to sleep. And a brick comes out of the castle and hits him in the head. This is where we end up, I think.
Say the least. And so if you're interested in such things, if you like The Nightmare Before Christmas, if you like Edward Gorey and his Victorian catastrophes.
I don't know if that's
in
quite... Yeah, okay, Jordy. So if you read these poems, and he reads some, you heard some of them, and you can look into them. When he compares this to Nightmare Before Christmas, I think the problem is that no one, when they were watching Nightmare Before Christmas, was, hey, should we get a mental health professional to check on Tim Burton? We're almost in, like, Henry Darger territory here. If you don't know who that is, look him up. Henry Darger, but the difference, though, is that Henry Darger, like, accidentally made some amazing paintings that don't look like anything else, sort of by accident. So Jordan Peterson has the, like, Jordan Peterson has the, is this guy okay side of Henry Darger, but not, but the fruits of that are not the sweetest. Sorry.
This winter,
Jesus, okay, hi.
tens of millions of British citizens, including children, will be tipped or dumped into energy poverty severe enough to risk permanent damage to their health.
All right.
Cold, damp houses provide the perfect breeding ground for mold, but without a word about why this crisis has emerged. Because the woke moralizers of the environmental movement helped to create it.
Whoa! Oh.
The
narcissists of compassion
Let's see that amazing editing again. Hold on.
created. The narcissists of compassion,
Yeah.
callow, self-aggrandizing, incompetent politicians, their celebrity lackeys, Machiavellian journalists,
Okay.
have insisted ever more loudly over the last 5 decades that no cost was and is too great for others to bear in the pursuit of blind service to the planet.
The planet in quotes. I love it, Jordy. So this video, starring the very sane, not at all crazy, not at all has completely lost his mind to the point of no return, Jordy Peterson, sounds like this,
Hi.
and like this.
I could literally say anti-Semitic shit.
This video is called Wicked. This video is called Wicked Globalists Are Causing Starvation and Poverty Under the Guise of Environmentalism.
Wow, Jordy, that's
Wow, Jordy, that's amazing. That's great. Yeah, so the theme of this video is pretty interesting. It's that Europe is in an energy crisis because of woke. And there's 2 things you could do to learn more about that, which is, one, you could read literally anything about the energy situation in Europe. I mean, literally anything. Or you could just ask yourself, does that sound like it makes sense? Like some woke college students were like, hey, the government, stop fossil fuels right now. And they were like, yes, chef, we'll stop. And they stopped. And now there's problems. Does that seem...
The extended plan involves curtailing the Christmas lighting that constitutes part of the celebration in the midst of the winter darkness in many locations where they generally shine.
Wow, okay.
Nothing, either beautiful or pleasing, is acceptable in the least to the Grinches, and the Grinch was in fact green when confronted by the crisis they created.
Good job.
Remember,
Good, that's true, Jordy. The Grinch was green. Never thought of it that way. I never looked at it that way, Jordy. There's one thing I would like to add to that.
Generally speaking, Chinese people look Chinese.
Thank you. What? Yeah, all right. So our good friend the Jordorino has been lately getting really... He's always done kind of climate skepticism stuff, and a college student yelled at me about this, so I'm going to form my views just to... whatever's the opposite of that mostly seem to be the vibe. But lately, weird, very odd. But lately, he's been going really hard, not just with climate misinformation and climate denial sort of stuff, but very, very pro fossil fuels, very, very pro fracking.
why would they demonize the exceptionally clean natural gas whose fracking enabled production?
What's that? An article from Vice just a couple months ago? How fracking billionaires Ben Shapiro
Bed made of money.
How fracking billionaires Ben Shapiro and PragerU built a climate crisis denial empire. Wow, that seems interesting. It's kind of interesting, but Jordan Peterson, PragerU, and Daily Wire are all like one thing now. If you look on the back end of the Daily Wire, what is it called? Daily Wire, Disney Plus, or whatever they call it. Daily Wire Flicks, or whatever they're calling it. If you look in the back end, all Jordan Peterson's crap is back there now. And this article is, oh boy. Like, I thought I kind of knew this backstory of Daily Wire. Oh boy.
oh brother.
Bed made of money.
It really reveals Jordy Peterson, Ben Shapiro, and PragerU to be maybe the greatest con artist of our era. So this Vice story from just a couple months ago is about the people who fund all these guys. They're called the Wilks brothers, and they're fracking billionaires. And check this out. When the Wilks brothers started donating to PragerU, it had nowhere near the reach or influence it does now. Oh, wow. Yeah, it seems like having millions of money. Seems like having millions and millions of money really helps get things rolling. Tax forms from 2013 showed that Ferris Wilks' 13 Foundation approved for future payment an additional $6.25 million to PragerU. Wow, bro. Most of the seed money for PragerU came from these Wilks brothers, the Los Angeles Times later reported. Wow. So these Wilks brothers they made billions of dollars from fracking. They got in on the fracking crap early, doing this with oil early and became billionaires really quick. And they started dumping the money into all kinds of stuff, right-wing religious stuff, because they are crazy. They've supported groups such as Life Dynamics Inc., an anti-abortion activist organization, and Focus on the Family. Focus on the Family. Focus on the Family, a show whose tagline is,
Generally speaking, Chinese people look Chinese.
they just want to spread awareness about that. One of the most prominent social conservative evangelical groups in the country, which has been accused of promoting conversion therapy for LGBTQ people. The beginning of this Vice article is pretty great. Check this out. It was the height of summer, and Pastor Ferris Wilkes, so one of these lunatics is a pastor, a quote-unquote pastor, was warning that if we didn't all stop sinning, God was going to scorch the earth and melt the polar ice caps. Oh, wow, okay, great, bro. These are the polar ice caps.
That's in the Bible.
We're going to reap what we have sown, and what we have sown has not been good, Wilkes explained to his self-assured Texas stroll. Think of all the murder that has happened in this country, all the babies that have been murdered, sexual perversion of all kinds. Oh, this guy sounds great, bro. Yeah, these brothers seem really cool. You know what I want to do?
Wipe your ass with them.
And you're probably like, wow, this guy seems like a nut. It gets worse, bro. Wilkes told the congregation in the small Texas town of Rising Star. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. No. I could do that because I live in Texas. That the spike in global temperatures could be related to these sinful excesses. Ooh, okay, brother. Maybe he said, us, quote, getting a little scorched here was a message from God and that there was little anything we could do about it. Ooh, okay. It's like when you hear about these lottery winners, like some guy, my name's Tex Slim or whatever, you know, and he like wins the lottery or hits it big in Vegas or something. And then suddenly he gets a bunch of new friends. Oh, hey, man. And then soon he's bankrupt somehow. That's what makes these idiots a little bit more likable, is they're like, hey, there's a dumb guy who made $1 billion, you know, digging for oil in the ground. How can I scam him? Oh, tell him whatever he wants. I'll go spread his dumb message to other dumb people. Great. And then I'll do this. Then I'll do this. And when I say dumb people, I mean they see these people as dumb. They see these people as marks. So there we go. That's great.
Toilet.
And then we all sleep on a
Bed made of money.
Let's hear some more from this beautiful pastor. We didn't create the earth, so how could we ever save the earth? Or save all the animals even on the earth? Or save the polar caps, Wilkes said that day in July 13th, according to a recording obtained by, oh God. Yeah, to call what Jordy's doing here a conflict of interest is like putting it way lightly. This is something way worse than a conflict of interest, my friend. Right?
Hi.
Okay, hi, how are you? He's really
Sniffing.
But because meat has also been deemed yet something else that is destroying the planet,
okay.
the woke narcissists of compassion are already insisting that people eat less of it.
Okay.
Plants and bugs for you and your children, peasants.
Wow.
And the sooner you get accustomed to it, or else,
Calm down, Jordy.
the better.
Jordy, I don't know what nut job is writing these little stupid monologues for Jordan Peterson, but man, oh man, this part's great. This part's great. There was some study that came out where they basically said, hey, the meat industry is causing a lot of pollution. It is basically what they said. And if we wanted to lower pollution, maybe we need to look into lowering meat consumption or figure out a better way to produce meat or whatever. That's pretty much it. There's no plan from the government to force people to not eat meat.
And the meat it produces cheaply enough for everyone to afford is unsustainable. For a moment, because we haven't yet dispensed with enough moralizing and authoritarian stupidity.
You had trouble getting that one out, but it's still funny, Jordy. Still good.
Hi.
Okay, what?
Remember what happened the last time that government agencies applied their tender mercy to determining what the people they serve should consume?
No, I do not.
We were offered the much vaunted food pyramid, telling us to eat 6 to 11 servings of grains and carbohydrates a day, with protein and fat at the pinnacle.
Right.
Something to be indulged in with comparative rarity,
Yep.
if indeed necessary at all. That all turned out to be wrong, and not just a little wrong, but so wrong that it might as well have been not just wrong,
Yeah.
but a veritable anti-truth. Something
right.
as wrong as it could possibly get.
So it's like, hey, you know, the meat industry, which this is true. I mean, you could look this up. The meat industry creates a lot of pollution. Maybe we should do something about that. Jordy steps in, he puts his little foot in, and he's like, well, look what happened the last time the government got involved. The food pyramid. It was wrong because it said eat a lot of carbs. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid, guys. Come on, stop being weird and admit that that's solid. If they get stuff wrong at some point, then no research can ever be right, and we can never do anything about it.
Thanks.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Kiss my left nut.
Left nut.
That's what it is. We already kind of knew this about them, but after it really put in my head that when I watch these videos of these guys now, what they're doing is it's a double-edged con. So they're fooling the people, they're lying to the people that they're making videos for, and they're lying to the people who give them the money to make the videos. They're like, we're insane, crazy evangelical religious crap too, man.
Check, please. Check, please.
Oh, I could make that video, but my hand's a little cold. Man, I would love to make that video saying all the crazy stuff you love, but, look at that, man. That hand's freezing, bro. Yeah.
That's in the Bible.
Wipe your ass with them.
No.
Generally speaking, Chinese people look Chinese.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, okay,
Thanks
hi.
for tuning in to everyone who's watching and listening.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I have the privilege today of speaking with Senator Joshua Hawley.
Oh, wow. Wow. What a diverse array of opinions on Jordan Peterson's show. As long as it's exclusively on the lunatic far right, anyone's welcome for a diverse discussion. As long as you say exactly the things that we want to hear and are paid to say. So Jordy Peterson uploaded this interview a couple days ago with Senator Josh Hawley as a celebration for the 300th episode, I guess. This is the worst interview ever done in the history of humankind. This makes that video where, what was it, Larry King, pulled out his phone and started talking to his bookie or whatever during that Dave Rubin interview. This makes that look like this. This makes that thing look like Dick Cavett. Okay, guys, look that up if you don't know what it is, okay? Look that up if you don't know what it is, okay, guys? Come on.
But then also we're going to have to start to put forward an alternative agenda.
Oh, wow.
And that's something I think conservatives need to give a lot of thought to. I'm not sure that we've given it enough thought as a party, as a group, and it's going to be very pressing, I think.
Huh?
Yeah, well, the conservatives are always pilloried by the left as reactionary. And I think the reason for that is, well, first of all, the right, the conservatives, do react to the excesses of the left constantly as the left nibbles away like piranhas at the entire structure of the society. But I think conservatives...
What a brilliant thought there from Jordy. I would love to get you to expand on that, Jordy Peterson. Oh, wow, I'm getting really into this interview. Learning a lot of stuff.
Big government continues to spend borrowed money. Inflation continues to swell.
Wow, gold ad. Yeah, great. Here, take this. I'll buy some gold.
Left nut.
Guys, I'm tearing up and I'm trying not to cry right now because I read one of the comments. Oh my God.
This comment is truly touching and beautiful. Gentlemen. Okay. All right. That's a good way to start a comment on a YouTube video. Gentlemen. This guy pulls out a pocket watch. Gentlemen, I have to go soon, but you may never read this, but perhaps someone else may find wisdom in this place. I was born in America and have lived abroad a number of years. That's probably not true. My dear father was British. When I was a young teenager, he said to me, quote, "In search for yourself, you will find yourself by losing yourself in service to others." Wow. Wow. Wow, man. Wow. You know what? And I've learned that from Jordy myself. And by losing yourself in service to others, as long as it comes with it attached millions of dollars from oil lunatics, yes, that's my service. That's my service to others. I'm going to try it. Ooh, I'm welling up again.
1619 was the true founding of the United States. What you're saying is the country is founded on the principle of oppression. The country is founded on the idea of exploiting some people so that other people can get ahead. And that's what America is.
Yeah.
Now, if you think that's what America is most fundamentally, then you probably think that America needs to be fundamentally changed and reformed and overhauled from top to bottom. And that would explain the left's program, because that's what they're arguing for today.
Well, but if that is America in its fundament, then why isn't there still slavery? Like, because look, this is the
Jordy. Wow. Great question, Jordy. You really, I'm really learning a lot from Jordy. I mean, amazing question. Really good question. What's that? He's an adult? What's that? He's a professor? Yeah, okay, so I guess the question is, if slavery is an important part of American history, then why isn't there still slavery? The answer would be, there's a lot written about that. It's a bafflingly stupid question, to the point of that it's even hard to kind of try to figure out what he's trying to go for here, except for that he's just doing more of this.
If you look carefully at the manner in which opposition to slavery made itself manifest, it appears to me that it's part and parcel of a much older biblical than British tradition. And that is the flowering of this idea, this strange idea that despite surface appearances, that might be differences in wealth and status, the difference between the aristocracy even and the commoners, human beings have an intrinsic dignity that's not to be...
That they have true... Listen, I think just to take a step back, you mentioned the Bible. I'm glad that you did, because I would make the strong claim that I know is controversial in many quarters of the elite today, in many quarters of the educational establishment in America and elsewhere, that actually the American tradition of individual liberty, the American tradition of self-government, of individual dignity, really runs back to what I would call the revolution of the Bible.
Wow. Dude, you might say...
That's in the Bible! No.
Hold on, let me look at Luke. I'm just going to actually open my Bible right now. Okay, Luke 15:37. What does it say here?
Generally speaking, Chinese people look Chinese.
Yeah, man, there's no way slavery would have ended except for Christianity. Christianity, Never mind that, like, every religious leader in the South, especially, defended slavery. But, you get it. Oh, hell yeah. Woo!
Make pee-pee.
Left nut.
Yeah.
Keep that little smug.
Louise Perry, it's very nice to meet you. And you, what a pleasure to be here.
Great.
Yeah, this should be good.
Okay, let's move on to the far more interesting Peterson. That's right, Michaela. She's everybody's favorite. Jordy, you do this after listening to a little bit of Jordy. But Michaela, she keeps it going, man. She keeps it going, bro. She's doing this.
Bye-bye.
Feminist culture of the 1970s, which was really focused in places like Greenwich Village in New York.
Yeah.
And a handful of other urban centers. And the women who wrote the most important texts of the second wave and went on to found organizations like Now.
Why are you whispering?
Tended to be super, super well educated.
Okay.
Super intelligent, super disagreeable.
Okay.
Particularly disinclined towards things like family life. The whole. From their point of view, they were really spurred on by a desire to reject the traditional feminine role, and often did so in quite spectacular ways. On a personal level, some of the biographies of second wavers are really, really unusual, really interesting.
So hell yeah, Michaela found the perfect guest for her show. This lady has been all all over the... Oh, my God. Michaela got 200,000 views on this. No help from her dad. Okay. This woman has really been making the rounds, on every Joe Rogan clone, terrible, unlistenable podcast out there. She's been on it. If it exists, she's been on it. Her name's Louise Perry, and the book that she's promoting is called... What is this stupid thing called? The Case Against the Sexual Revolution. So yeah, I don't want to go into all the details of the sexual revolution. We don't need to, but all you need to know for this is that this goofy lady is painting with such a broad brush here that this will only and is directed only to target conservatives. That's it.
That we're in this predicament.
I mean, on an individual level, it is quite possible for people to just choose to be a bit more trad. The challenge is, of course, finding a partner who wants that too. But I'm noticing around me quite a significant turn against this stuff. It's increasingly common in elite circles as well. There's this apparent turn towards Catholicism among young New Yorkers, and I see it among young Londoners as well. A greater conservatism, weird sort of subsection of the elite. You can choose to do that. You can still get married. You can still not have premarital sex. You can still choose to be a stay-at-home mum, have loads of children. I mean, it's more difficult because things like being a stay-at-home mum in an economic environment where that's really challenging.
Man, oh man, this lady's book and everything she says in this interview amounts to, I would call it a giant nothing burger. Because what she seems to be saying is like, look, women are really unhappy because we're not doing kind of traditional relationship roles, There's more hookup culture. People aren't getting in relationships. Now, that's one thing because I don't know how true that is. Everybody I know who wants to be in a quote-unquote traditional relationship gets in one with no oh no, this is wrong. This is against women. Like, nobody cares. So, but what makes this really stupid is her tying this to the sexual revolution, because at least part of that was, hey, there's a problem here where women being dependent on men financially, and you have to get into a marriage to secure your financial well-being. That creates a lot of unhappiness too, lady. That creates a lot of unhappiness too. Jordy Peterson fans, and so also Michaela Peterson fans, they like this stuff because they want women to go back to the time of women being dependent on men. So I could capture a woman and keep her around, like this kind of weird crap. And it's funny because this lady's prescription, this is how much of an absolute zero this is. Her prescription is get in a trad relationship. And right after that, she says, well, a lot of people can't do that because of, financial reasons, because crazy economic situations and stuff like that. Yeah, lady, that's kind of the focus. And in fact, a much better person to actually get something out of for this is, what's this lady's name again?
And more importantly, what it means is that in a society where women have economic independence, if her partner is abusive, if her partner is not treating her well or not treating her child well, in a psychological way, or if she's just generally dissatisfied with that relationship, the risk of leaving that relationship is much lower from an economic point of view. And so again, she's going to be in a relationship with somebody that she wants to be with, not that she has to be with for economic reasons. And so therefore, we have some good empirical evidence that it turns out that when women get to choose their partners because they like them, because they're attractive and they're funny, that they tend to enjoy their sexual relations with those people much better than when they're being forced to exchange their affective resources, as I call them in the book, for money.
Kristen Godsey, who wrote Why Women Have Better Sex Under Socialism. Kristen Godsey really gets to like a more interesting and actual meaningful answer, which is that like it's not going to lead to a very healthy relationship if you're financially dependent on a romantic partner. Like there's unhappiness and in misery to that, of course, which this perfect trad life. Oh, the perfect trad. I listen to Red Scare. And I'm going back to that because that was better, but I'm not really because I live in Brooklyn and all this other crap. Like that was miserable. But yeah, it probably is also miserable to like not have a relationship that you can depend on and somebody who you really care about, who you want to be in a committed relationship, that's bad too. Yeah, that could be bad too. Not for everybody. There's some people who would just there's some people who just want to do this for a longer time. But yeah, but this goofy lady just kind of misdirects what Kristen Gotzi actually gets at, which is that if there's like a safety net, if there's like financial security that women already have, then they're going to get in a relationship, not based on financial desperation or whatever, but on that they like the person and that they find the person attractive. And it's a little bit better. And then in that case, you can do whatever you want. Get a traditional relationship, go make out with whoever you want forever. Who cares? You get to do what you want. This lady doesn't get into that stuff at all. It's meaningless nonsense. It's just, hey, conservatives, here's what you want to hear. Porn is bad and return to tradition. Meaningless garbage. I'm very shocked that Michaela Peterson's podcast didn't get really to the bottom of meaningful crap. Unbelievable, bro.
Because we know from all the dating app data, which has proved to be so useful for sex researchers, that the hypergamy instinct in women, the subconscious desire to marry up and to be drawn towards higher status men than oneself, which men don't have. Men are quite happy to generally have relationships with women of the same or lower status than themselves, but women are not, means that you end up with women kind of clustering towards the higher status men. I think the figures on Tinder is it's like 10% of men get 60% of likes, the top 10% of men, that is, and then the bottom 90% are getting very little, whereas women are generally get a lot of likes, but they're getting likes from men that they're not interested in. And I think that what's going on is because you've lifted the monogamy restriction, not legally, polygamy is still illegal, at least in the UK. That is probably the next frontier.
Yeah.
The polyamorous are going to start clamoring to have their relationships recognized in law. But for now, it's still illegal. But in practice, because premarital and extramarital sex is now socially acceptable, these high status men who in previous era would have got married and would have removed themselves from the dating pool, instead are able to be serially monogamous, or even able to have simultaneous relationships with women who might not even realize, they're part of these harems, right? Digital harems.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely need to go back to the 1950s. This is my belief, based on what I read from this woman's book. We need to go back to the 1950s when it was really way less socially acceptable to have sexual partners, outside of your marriage or whatever. And people never cheated back then. I'd never seen Mad Men with all the mistresses and all that. What she's describing on Tinder is a brand new phenomenon. Yeah, lady. Hey, young men conservatives, like you're already not treated like suckers enough already. Buy my stupid book now. Yeah, I don't know. The other thing about this is she uses this as a huge data point. Oh, like there's 10% of the men get all the swipes. They get 60% of the swipes on Tinder from women. So, I mean, you know how many stories I've heard from women who are like, oh, the guy was cute in the picture and I met him, he's a moron. No second date. So guys, there we go. Tearing old Jordy and his weird daughter a new one. Giving everyone a hard time, because, it's what we do here. It's not a big deal, guys. Calm down. What we do here on this channel is we spread awareness on the fact is that
generally speaking, Chinese people look Chinese.
Thank you. Well, guys, I hope you got spooky and scary this past couple days and today, the day that I upload this, because, it gets a little weird. Things get a little weird, but hopefully not so scary that we're having bad dreams. That's when we cross the line, and I will not let that happen. But guys, support the show if you can. Become a patron, little as 2 bones, or buy a shirt, link below. Love you so much. And I'll do this. Do this in your Tinder profile. People will all fall in love with you. People will love you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hey guys, you're only getting a fraction of the weekly shows. If you want a new motherfucking episode every day, subscribe on Patreon for as little as 2 bones. You get the patron-only Tuesday and Thursday shows, the Bookablega show where we look at important books, and the goddamn weekly behind-the-scenes show. And for only 25 bones, you could become a producer and get your name up here. Look at these people. These people make this show possible. If it wasn't for them, nothing. We don't have a show. We got nothing, and it's garbage. And we have to just leave. We have to just basically walk away, and we don't even really know where we're walking. That's the truly troubling part about all this. But please, become a patron today for as little as 2 bones, or 5 bones is another level, or 10, or you go the full 25 and you get up here. Big special thanks to these people. Love you guys so much.